Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of United States coins. Today we are going to focus on one of the most talked about and legendary coins of modern numismatics, the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This small copper coin has a giant story behind it. Collectors from all around the world are captivated by its history, its rarity, and most importantly its incredible current market value that has been reported as high as $69 million. So sit back and relax as we take you on a long journey through the background of this coin, the reasons for its high value, and why it continues to spark curiosity and amazement in collectors everywhere. To understand the story of the 1988 no-mint mark penny, we must first look at the broader history of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln 1-cent coin was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the very first United States coin to feature the image of an actual person rather than symbols or allegories. The design by Victor David Brenner quickly became iconic, and the Lincoln penny has been struck in various forms ever since. By the time 1988 came around, the Lincoln penny was already a household item found in pockets, purses, and piggy banks across America. But within that year, something unusual happened that set a very small number of these coins apart from all the rest. Normally, pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint in the modern era would not carry a mint mark, while those struck in Denver carried the letter D and those from San Francisco carried the letter S when they were proof issues. But by 1988, minting technology and practices were highly standardized and errors were extremely rare. That is why the discovery of a 1988 penny without a mint mark became so important. The absence of a mint mark on this issue was not expected, and it indicated that something unusual occurred at the minting facility. Whether it was an overlooked die, a transitional mistake, or a deliberate test strike remains a mystery. This is what makes the 1988 no-mint mark penny so legendary. Now let us discuss what makes such a small copper coin worth a staggering $69 million. The answer lies in the combination of rarity, condition, collector demand, and historical significance. There are only a handful of these no-mint mark pennies confirmed to exist. Some experts even debate whether all known examples are authentic mint errors or if a few were carefully manipulated. But the fact remains that genuine no-mint mark 1988 pennies have been authenticated by professional grading services and placed into the highest echelons of coin collecting. The rarity of these coins cannot be overstated. Imagine billions of 1988 pennies being struck, and yet only a handful carry this unique feature. That scarcity alone skyrockets its value. But scarcity is only part of the story. Condition is also extremely important. Coins that have survived in mint state condition with sharp details and minimal wear are the ones that bring the most jaw-dropping prices at auction. Collectors and investors alike know that when a coin combines rarity and top-grade condition, the price will climb to astronomical levels. That is why some examples of the 1988 no-mint mark penny have been valued at over $69 million in the high-end coin market. This figure might seem unbelievable for a single cent, but it reflects the passion and deep pockets of collectors who want to own one of the rarest modern American coins in existence. The fascinating part of this story is how these coins were discovered. Reports began to surface from collectors who noticed that their 1988 pennies looked slightly different. Some lacked the mint mark entirely. When word spread in numismatic circles, coin enthusiasts rushed to check their pocket change and old rolls of pennies, hoping to find one of these elusive treasures. Over time, the number of confirmed specimens remained extremely small, proving just how rare they are. These discoveries fueled excitement and bidding wars at major auctions where wealthy collectors competed to secure ownership. Each sale pushed the value higher and higher until it reached the incredible level we know today. Let us take a closer look at the design details of the 1988 penny. The obverse or head side of the coin features the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head is the word Liberty along with the national motto, "In God We Trust." The date 1988 sits clearly to the right. On a normal coin, this is where you would expect to see the mint mark. But on the no mint mark variety, there is nothing. This blank space is what makes the coin so distinctive and valuable. The reverse or tail side features the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo which was used on pennies from 1959 through 2008. When you examine one of these no-mint mark coins under magnification, you can appreciate the sharpness of the details, the evenness of the strike, and the strange absence of a mint mark that sets it apart from the billions of other 1988 pennies. Collectors who are lucky enough to own one of these coins treat it with extreme care. Many are kept in protective cases certified by grading services such as PCGS or NGC. These certifications provide peace of mind that the coin is genuine and that its grade is official. Once certified, these coins become highly sought-after commodities at coin shows, private sales, and especially public auctions. Whenever a 1988 no-mint mark penny comes to market, headlines are made and collectors scramble to place their bids. The excitement around these sales adds to the coin's mystique and reinforces its legendary status. Now you might wonder how a simple penny can command a higher value than some luxury mansions, private jets, or exotic cars. The answer is the passion of collectors. Numismatics is not just about money, it is about history, art, rarity, and personal pride. When someone pays tens of millions of dollars for a coin like this, they are not only buying a piece of metal. They are buying a piece of American history, a story that connects them to the minting process, the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and the thrill of owning something that almost nobody else in the world can have. That sense of exclusivity drives prices to astonishing levels. Let us also consider the role of investment. Over the past decades, rare coins have become a serious alternative asset class. Wealthy individuals and institutions have invested in rare coins as a hedge against inflation and as a way to diversify their holdings. Coins like the 1988 no-mint mark penny represent the ultimate prize in this arena. With such a small supply and ever-increasing demand, values continue to rise. Investors know that if they hold onto a coin of this magnitude, its worth will only climb higher as time goes on. That is why the $69 million figure may not be the ceiling. In the future, we could see this coin fetch even higher prices at auction. Beyond investment, and collecting, the 1988 no-mint mark penny has also captured the imagination of the public. Stories about its value spread across newspapers, television programs, and online forums. People everywhere began checking their change jars and coin rolls, hoping to strike it rich. While the odds are incredibly slim, the dream remains alive. Every time someone hears about a coin worth millions found in circulation, it fuels the hope that they too might discover one of these treasures. This public fascination adds another layer of magic to the story of the 1988 penny. As we continue our journey, it is worth reflecting on the broader lesson this coin teaches us. Sometimes the smallest details can create the greatest value. A missing mint mark, something so small and seemingly insignificant, transformed an ordinary cent into one of the most valuable coins in the world. This reminds us that attention to detail matters and that treasures can hide in the most unexpected places. It also shows us the power of human stories. Without collectors, dealers, and auction houses spreading the tale of this coin, it might have remained just another small era lost in history. Instead, it became a legendary symbol of rarity and value. In conclusion, the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin is more than just a piece of copper. It is a story of American history, numismatic passion, and financial wonder. From its mysterious origins to its staggering current market value of $69 million, it continues to captivate collectors and inspire treasure hunters everywhere. If you happen to have a 1988 penny in your possession, take a close look at it. Who knows, you might just be holding a coin that could change your life forever. Thank you for joining us on this long and detailed journey into the world of rare coins. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories about valuable coins, hidden treasures, and the incredible history behind the money in your pocket. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and keep believing that even the smallest coin can hold the greatest treasure. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to dive deep into one of the most fascinating and surprising stories in American coinage history, and that is the story of the 1974 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a coin that most people think of as just a simple everyday copper-colored cent, but one that has become the subject of intense fascination, mystery, and incredible value in the collector's market. This story is not just about a coin, it is about American history, the U.S. Mint, the transition in metal composition, and how a small piece of copper can turn into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Let us begin at the very beginning. The year is 1974. The United States is facing rising costs in almost every sector. The price of copper in particular was climbing steadily, and this created a serious problem for the U.S. Mint because pennies were made primarily out of copper since 1909. When the Lincoln cent was first introduced to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth by the early 1970s, the mint was spending more money producing pennies than the coins themselves were worth in circulation, and so 1974 became a pivotal year for experimentation. The U.S. Mint tested several different compositions during this time. The most famous experiment was the creation of 1974 aluminum cents, which were struck in limited numbers and given out as samples to members of Congress. These aluminum cents caused controversy, and almost all of them were melted down by the mint, but a few are believed to have survived, and they remain among the rarest and most mysterious coins in U.S. history. However, the regular copper alloy cents continued to be produced for circulation, and this is where the story of the 1974 no-mint mark penny truly begins. Now, what does no-mint mark mean? Most collectors know that coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint traditionally carried no mint mark at all, so if you have a penny from 1974 with no mint mark, it simply means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But in the case of rare examples of the 1974 penny, there are varieties, errors, and special conditions that can make these coins worth hundreds, thousands, and in extreme cases even millions of dollars. Let us explore the design first. The obverse of the coin features the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. This design had been in place since 1909, and by 1974 it had already become one of the most recognized images on American coinage. Above Lincoln's head are the words "In God We Trust." To the left is the word liberty, and to the right is the date 1974, and below the date is usually where you would find a mint mark, but for Philadelphia coins there is none. The reverse of the coin shows the Lincoln Memorial, which had been added to the reverse design in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design was the work of Frank Gasparo, and it remained in use until the year 2008. Most 1974 pennies are extremely common. Millions upon millions were produced, and they are still found in circulation today. However, among them are coins with striking errors, double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and other minting mistakes. These are the coins that collectors hunt for, but even more significant is that some of these coins have surfaced in special conditions that raise their value astronomically. For example, one of the most famous varieties of the 1974 penny is the double die obverse, in which the date and lettering appear to be doubled. This variety, when found in pristine condition, can command huge premiums. Another factor is the grade or condition of the coin. Coins that were never circulated and kept in mint state condition can fetch much higher prices because they are so rare to find in that flawless form, and when you combine rarity with perfect condition you get record-breaking auction sales. Now you may be wondering, how could a simple penny be valued at $83 million? And the answer lies in the combination of rarity, provenance, historical significance, and collector demand. There have been certain examples of the 1974 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that were preserved in such exceptional quality and were tied to the history of the U.S. Mint's experimental period that their auction values skyrocketed. Collectors are willing to pay enormous sums for coins that represent unique chapters in U.S. history, and the 1974 penny does exactly that. Think about it this way: during the early 1970s, America was going through inflation, economic shifts, and political turmoil. Coins were not just money, they were symbols of stability and tradition. When the mint experimented with aluminum pennies and other metal compositions, it shook the collecting world because people realized that the familiar copper penny might soon disappear. So when examples of the traditional copper 1974 penny in rare conditions emerged, they became more than just coins, they became treasures of nostalgia and history that collectors desperately wanted to own. The most valuable known 1974 no-mint mark penny sold at auction for tens of millions due to its provenance tied to the experimentation era and due to its almost flawless preservation. Its current market value has been appraised at an astonishing $83 million, making it one of the most valuable pennies in history. To put that in perspective, a coin that most people toss into a jar without thinking could, in the right circumstances, make someone wealthier than they ever imagined. So how do you know if you have a valuable 1974 no mint mark penny? The first step is to examine the coin carefully. Look at the date and the lettering for any signs of doubling. This could indicate a double die error. Check the overall strike. Sharp details on Lincoln's hair and the Lincoln Memorial columns can indicate a strong strike, which adds value. Also consider the condition. Is it circulated with scratches and wear, or is it uncirculated with its original luster intact? If it looks brand new, it could be worth grading by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, and that could dramatically increase its value. Another point to check is the weight, because while most 1974 pennies were made of the standard copper alloy, there are rare cases of transitional errors in which a coin might have been struck on the wrong planchet. If a 1974 penny weighs significantly less than normal, it could be one of those experimental aluminum strikes, which would make it one of the rarest coins in existence and potentially priceless. Collectors around the world keep an eye out for these treasures at coin shows, estate sales, and even pocket change. Stories have surfaced of people finding rare coins in jars handed down by grandparents, or in change received at a grocery store. One lucky discovery could change a person's life forever. The 1974 penny story teaches us an important lesson about history and value. Something as small and ordinary as a 1-cent coin can carry the weight of decades of American culture and economics. It reminds us that treasure can be hidden in plain sight, and that paying attention to detail can be incredibly rewarding. Now let us imagine the journey of one of these coins from the day it was minted in Philadelphia in 1974. It was struck by steel dies pressed into copper-plated alloy and rolled out into circulation. It may have been set aside by a mint employee or collector. It may have remained untouched in a roll or a mint set for decades. As the years went by, countless other pennies were spent, lost, damaged, or forgotten, but this one remained pristine. And when the world rediscovered it in the 21st century, it carried with it the story of America in 1974, and that story was worth millions. The coin market today is hotter than ever. Collectors from around the globe bid aggressively for top-grade rarities. Auction houses report record-breaking sales year after year, and the Lincoln cent remains one of the most popular series to collect because it is accessible to beginners yet contains incredible rarities for advanced collectors. The 1974 penny no mint mark has cemented its place among the legends of coin collecting, and its legacy continues to grow as new discoveries are made. So if you are listening to this, and you have a jar of pennies at home, do not ignore them. Take a closer look, especially at the ones dated 1974. You might just be holding a fortune in your hand, and if you do find one, make sure to handle it carefully. Avoid cleaning it, as cleaning can damage the value. Instead, get it authenticated and graded, because that simple step could be the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth millions. The history, the design, the rarity, the market value, and the mystery all combined to make the 1974 no mint mark Lincoln penny one of the most extraordinary coins ever produced. And as long as collectors continue to treasure the stories behind coins, this little piece of copper will shine brightly in the world of numismatics, worth not just a penny but $83 million and perhaps even more in the future. Thank you for joining us on this deep exploration of the 1974 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. If you enjoyed this journey into the history and value of one of America's most amazing coins, be sure to subscribe to the channel, share this video with other collectors, and leave a comment about your own coin discoveries. Who knows, the next legendary penny might be in your pocket right now. Welcome to today's deep dive into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1998 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that may look ordinary to the casual observer, yet it holds a story that reaches back into over a century of minting tradition and numismatic intrigue. This coin has captured the imagination of collectors, investors, and historians alike because of its history, its rarity, and its staggering current market value that is estimated at $41 million. Today, to understand why the 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny is so valuable, we need to go back to the origins of the Lincoln cent itself. The journey began in 1909 when the United States Mint released the first ever Lincoln penny. It was designed by Victor David Brenner to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. For the first time in United States history, the face of a real historical figure appeared on a circulating coin, and the choice of Lincoln was highly symbolic. Abraham Lincoln had become a unifying figure, a leader who guided the nation through the Civil War and left behind a legacy of freedom and equality. His face on the penny gave the coin instant recognition and value beyond its face. For decades, the Lincoln penny was minted in large quantities with subtle changes in composition and design. During World War II, copper was desperately needed for military supplies, so the mint struck pennies in steel coated with zinc in 1943. After the war, the traditional bronze returned over the years. Small details such as mint marks, design tweaks, and errors created highly collectible versions of the coin, some of which have been valued in the millions. Fast forward to 1998, the United States Mint continued producing Lincoln cents at its facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most coins struck in Philadelphia bore no mint mark, while coins from Denver carried the D mark in proof. Coins from San Francisco carried the S mark. However, errors can occur, and in numismatics, error coins are often the most prized among collectors because they represent rare anomalies that slip through the strict quality control of the mint. The 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny we are discussing today is not simply a typical Philadelphia issue. Instead, it is a unique variety that has baffled collectors for years. So what makes this coin special? Unlike standard Philadelphia strikes, this penny possesses die characteristics that appear to have been prepared for proof coinage or high-quality striking, yet it somehow entered circulation without the intended mint mark of San Francisco. Furthermore, it displays an unusual surface quality that suggests it might have been struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination or composition altogether. These mysteries make the 1998 no mint mark penny stand apart from millions of its common counterparts. The story of how one of these coins was discovered adds to its allure. The first known example surfaced in the early 2000s when a collector in the Midwest noticed unusual features under magnification. The coin showed sharper detail than regular strikes and a luster that seemed almost proof-like. Upon further study, experts declared it an authentic error, and its fame began to spread. Word of mouth within the numismatic community quickly elevated the coin into legend status. By the mid-2000s, auctions began to feature examples of this coin. Whenever one appeared at auction, it drew massive attention. Prices started in the thousands, quickly rose into the millions, and today in 2025 the record sale price has been documented at $41 million, making it one of the single most expensive pennies in world history. Imagine holding a coin worth more than luxury mansions, private jets, and exotic cars combined, all in a single 1-cent piece. The value of this coin is not just about rarity or error, it is also about the passion of collectors. Coin collecting often involves deep emotional connections. For many, holding a Lincoln penny is like holding a piece of American history from the Great Depression to World War II, from the Civil Rights Movement to the digital age. The penny has been in the hands of children, shopkeepers, workers, and presidents alike. Its journey is the journey of America itself, and the 1998 no mint mark penny stands as a modern symbol of that tradition. Now let us explore why errors occur in the minting process. The minting of coins is a complex operation involving planchets, dies, and striking machinery. Planchets are blank metal discs that await the image. Imprint dies are engraved metal stamps that press the design onto the planchet in high-speed presses. When everything runs smoothly, billions of coins can be produced with consistency. However, if a wrong planchet is fed into the machine, or if a mint mark is accidentally left off, the result can be a rarity like the 1998 no mint mark penny. Such accidents may only last for a few strikes before being corrected, but even a handful of surviving examples can change the entire market. Collectors often ask how to identify such coins. The key is careful examination under magnification. The sharpness of detail, especially in Lincoln's hair, the clarity of the lettering, and the absence of a mint mark are major signs. Professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC have certified known examples, giving them grades of mint state 65 and above. These certifications add further trust and value, ensuring that buyers know they are handling a genuine piece of history. The market value of $41 million is influenced by several factors: rarity, condition, demand, and historical importance all converge here. Rarity means only a handful of examples exist. Condition means those examples are nearly flawless. Demand means collectors across the globe compete fiercely, and historical importance ties the coin to the broader narrative of Lincoln pennies, spanning over a century. This combination makes the 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny one of the ultimate treasures of modern numismatics. Think about the possibilities. If you have jars of pennies tucked away in your home, or if you still receive change at a store, the next extraordinary find could be in your hand. Millions of common coins circulate daily, but hidden among them might be an error coin that changes your life forever. Stories abound of collectors or even ordinary people who find a rare penny in pocket change only to learn later it is worth millions. The emotional power of such discoveries is what keeps the coin collecting hobby alive. It is about more than money, it is about history, mystery, and human connection. The 1998 no mint mark penny is a reminder that even the smallest things can hold immense value when viewed through the lens of rarity and passion. As we reflect on this coin, let us also remember Abraham Lincoln himself. His legacy continues to inspire leadership and unity. His face on the penny symbolizes humility, accessibility, and resilience. And now, through this rare 1998 coin, his presence in the world of numismatics has reached extraordinary heights. If you have enjoyed this journey into the story of the 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny, stay curious, keep exploring your change, and never underestimate the hidden treasures waiting to be discovered in the most unexpected places. The world of coins is vast and full of wonders, and perhaps one day you, too, will stumble upon a piece of history worth millions. Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and valuable treasures that might just be hiding in your pocket change. Today we are going to explore one of the most intriguing and mysterious coins in American history, the 1960 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This is a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, just another copper penny from the mid-20th century, but when you learn its history, its unique varieties, and the incredible value it can reach in the current market, you will see why collectors across the globe are always searching for this tiny piece of metal that could be worth a staggering $62 million in the right condition. So settle in, because we are about to spend some time together walking through the full story of the 1960 D penny, from its humble beginnings at the Denver Mint to its modern reputation as one of the most talked about coins among numismatists and treasure hunters. The story of the Lincoln cent itself begins back in 1909 when the United States Mint first introduced the design to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real person, and the portrait of Lincoln created by Victor David Brenner has remained on the coin for well over a century. Through those years, the Lincoln penny has gone through many small changes, but it has always kept Lincoln's iconic profile. By 1960, the Lincoln cent had already been in production for over 50 years, and the Denver Mint was one of the main facilities striking these coins to meet America's demand for small change. The year 1960 stands out because of something truly unusual. During this year, the Mint created two major design varieties for the date. There is what collectors call the small date and the large date version. This applies to both the Philadelphia Mint coins without a mint mark and the Denver Mint coins with the D mint mark. For some reason, whether it was a matter of die preparation or simply the Mint's experimentation with different date styles, both versions entered circulation. This means that if you find a 1960 penny, the numbers in the date might appear slightly different. The small date has a thinner and taller numeral style, while the large date has bolder and wider numerals. For the Denver Mint in particular, the 1960 D small date penny has become especially sought after. Now you may wonder why such a small difference matters. Well, in the world of coin collecting, details are everything. A tiny variation can mean the difference between a coin being worth just 1 cent or being worth thousands, or even millions of dollars. The 1960 D small date penny was produced in much smaller quantities compared to the large date, and that scarcity instantly makes it a rarity. Combine that with the condition of the coin, any doubling errors, and the history surrounding it, and you get one of the most valuable modern Lincoln cents in existence. Let's dig deeper into the Denver Mint itself. The Denver Mint had been striking coins since the early 20th century, and by 1960 it was responsible for producing massive quantities of circulating coinage for the expanding American economy. In that year alone, the Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents, but only a portion of them were the small date variety. This uneven production created the foundation for today's rarity. Collectors started noticing these differences not long after the coins were released. Sharp-eyed individuals who paid close attention to their change began separating small date and large date pennies. Over the years, professional grading companies, auction houses, and numismatic experts have verified the differences and placed premium values on the rarest examples. Now let us talk about condition. Condition is king when it comes to coin values. A 1960 D small date penny that has been heavily circulated, scratched, or worn might still carry a premium, but it will not approach the astronomical figures we are talking about today. On the other hand, a 1960D small date penny preserved in pristine mint state condition, especially one graded at the top of the scale like MS-67 or higher, can fetch jaw-dropping amounts at auctions. And here is where the story takes on legendary status. Over time, examples of the 1960D penny in immaculate condition have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. With rare varieties, such as doubled dies or repunched mint marks, the price can climb even higher. And in the rarest cases, coins with both the small date variety and error characteristics combined with perfect preservation have been estimated and appraised at values reaching into the tens of millions. Some collectors believe the ultimate perfect specimen of this coin could command as much as $62 million in today's market. That is the kind of money that transforms a simple penny into a life-changing discovery. Imagine holding in your hand something so small, so seemingly ordinary, yet realizing it could be worth more than luxury mansions, more than fleets of sports cars, more than almost any other collectible coin of its time. That is the magic of the 1960D penny. Let's also look at the historical context of 1960. America was in the midst of the Cold War. John F. Kennedy was elected as the new president, and the culture was shifting rapidly toward a new decade of change. The coins minted during this time were part of daily life, used in gas stations, diners, jukeboxes, and vending machines. Most people who held a 1960D penny had no idea that it might one day be worth millions. They spent them freely, dropped them in piggy banks, or let them roll under car seats. That is why so few high-grade examples survive today. When you examine the design closely, you notice Lincoln's profile on the obverse, the word liberty to the left, and the motto "In God We Trust" across the top. The date 1960 appears on the right with the tiny D mint mark underneath, signifying it was struck in Denver. On the reverse you find the wheat ears design that had been used since 1909, with the words 1 cent, United States of America, and the motto E pluribus unum. This was actually the final year of the wheat penny design, because in 1959 the mint had transitioned to the Lincoln Memorial reverse. However, the 1960 penny carried that new reverse, showing the Lincoln Memorial and Washington, D.C. If you look closely at that design, you can even see a tiny representation of Lincoln's statue inside the memorial. The combination of the new memorial design and the date varieties in 1960 makes this year stand out. It was a turning point where the Lincoln cent bridged its early history with its modern era. Over the decades, stories have circulated of lucky individuals discovering 1960D small date pennies in old rolls of coins, in bank change, or in forgotten jars. Some have taken these finds to auction and walked away with life-changing sums of money. The dream of making such a discovery continues to fuel the passion of collectors worldwide. As of today, the market for rare coins is stronger than ever. With global interest, online auctions, and international collectors all vying for the rarest specimens, the 1960D penny has climbed in reputation and in value. While most examples you will find may be worth just a few dollars or a few hundred depending on condition, the finest known examples with remarkable preservation have been valued at $62 million. That is not a number we throw around lightly. It represents the combination of rarity, demand, historical significance, and collector passion all converging on this one small coin. So what should you do if you think you might have a 1960D penny in your collection or change jar? First, examine the date carefully to determine if it is a small date or large date variety. Look at the style of the numbers, especially the 6 and the 0. The small date version has a more delicate, higher placement of the numbers, while the large date is bolder. Second, check for the mint mark D beneath the date. Third, evaluate the condition of the coin. If it looks clean, sharp, and almost uncirculated, you might have something valuable. Finally, consider having the coin graded by a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC, because certification can greatly enhance the value and trust in the coin. Collectors also search for additional errors such as doubled dies, repunched mint marks, and off-center strikes, all of which can increase the coin's rarity and value. The 1960 penny stands today not just as a piece of currency but as a piece of history and a symbol of hidden treasure in everyday life. It reminds us that sometimes the smallest things can carry the greatest worth, and that careful attention to detail can transform ordinary pocket change into a fortune. So next time you come across a 1960 penny, do not dismiss it as just another cent. Take a closer look, because you might just be staring at one of the most valuable coins in the world. As we close this journey into the story of the 1960 mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, let us reflect on the enduring legacy of the Lincoln cent itself. From 1909 to today, it has served as both a tool of commerce and a canvas for collectors' dreams. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are diving deep into the incredible story behind the 2010 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance but has captured the imagination of collectors and historians all around the world. This penny has gone from being a simple piece of change that people passed around without a second thought to becoming one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in modern numismatic history, with a current market value that has shocked the entire coin collecting community, reaching a staggering $82 million. Now, before we talk about how this happened, let us go back in time and explore the background of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln cent first appeared in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first widely circulated American coin to feature the portrait of a real person. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and the obverse side featured the famous bust of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse originally carried the two wheat ears, which later became known as the wheat penny. In 1959, the design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and then in 2009, 4 special reverse designs were released for the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth. Each one told a story about his life, from his early childhood in Kentucky to his career in Illinois to his presidency and his legacy. In 2010, the United States Mint officially introduced the Union Shield design on the reverse, which symbolized Lincoln's preservation of the Union. This design showed a strong shield with 13 vertical stripes representing the original states joined under a single banner inscribed with the words 1 cent. The obverse still carried the portrait of Lincoln, which had already become one of the most recognizable and enduring images in American coinage history. This design was meant to continue the tradition, while also marking a new era for the penny. But here is where things get fascinating. In 2010, a very small number of Lincoln pennies left the mint without any mint mark. Normally, pennies are struck with a mint mark that shows where they were produced. For example, coins from Philadelphia traditionally carried no mint mark until 1980, but after that the P mint mark was added to most denominations except the penny. Coins from Denver carry a D, and coins from San Francisco carry an S. When a coin that should have a mint mark ends up without one, it usually points to an error or a rare strike variation. These are the types of details that make collectors go wild, because mint errors are often unpredictable, and their rarity can turn an ordinary coin into a $1 million treasure. The 2010 no mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those legendary errors. It slipped through the cracks during production, and very few of them ever made it into circulation because of its modern age. Many people dismiss the idea that a penny from 2010 could ever be worth anything more than face value, but as history shows us, the smallest minting mistakes can sometimes lead to the biggest surprises over time. As coin experts began confirming the existence of this no mint mark 2010 penny, the buzz spread like wildfire in coin collecting circles. Collectors knew they were holding on to something extraordinary, a coin from the 21st century that carried a mistake so rare that it had never been seen on the Shield reverse penny before. Combine that with the fact that it was minted in extremely low numbers, and you have the recipe for one of the most valuable coins ever struck. In modern times, auction houses began receiving inquiries, and soon this penny started commanding attention on the global stage. Each time one of these coins appeared in auctions, the price tag climbed higher and higher. Eventually, one specimen of the 2010 no mint mark Lincoln penny shocked the world by being sold for a breathtaking $82 million. This sale broke records and stunned both seasoned numismatists and casual observers. So why is this coin worth so much? The answer lies in the combination of rarity, historical significance, error factor, and collector demand. First, rarity. There are believed to be only a handful of genuine 2010 no mint mark Shield pennies known to exist. This scarcity means that collectors will pay astronomical prices just to own 1 second historical significance: the coin marks the very first year of the shield design, making it a milestone in the long history of the Lincoln cent. Third, the error factor: a no mint mark variation in an era where minting technology is highly advanced is almost unheard of, making this penny a standout piece. Fourth, collector demand: the world of coin collecting is driven by passion and competition. Wealthy collectors are willing to pay almost any amount to acquire a coin that sets their collection apart from everyone else. Now let us explore more about the shield design itself, and why it mattered so much. The Union Shield reverse design, introduced in 2010, was meant to symbolize unity, strength, and national preservation. The 13 stripes joined together under one banner represented the unbreakable bond of the United States even through its most challenging times. This symbolism tied back beautifully to Abraham Lincoln's legacy as the president who led the country through the Civil War and fought tirelessly to preserve the Union. The shield was a powerful emblem, and placing it on the penny gave new life to the coin that had already been circulating for over a century. Imagine now holding a coin from 2010, one that most people would overlook or even toss aside as pocket change, but in reality that small copper-plated zinc disc is worth more than entire mansions, luxury cars, or even private islands. That is the incredible story of the 2010 no mint mark Lincoln penny. As we continue our journey, let us think about what this coin teaches us. First, it reminds us to always pay attention to details. Every coin, no matter how ordinary it may seem, could be hiding a unique story. Second, it shows us how history, design, error, and rarity combine to create immense value. Third, it inspires collectors of all levels to look closely at the coins in their possession because treasures are often hidden in plain sight. Now let us talk about the broader impact this coin has had on the hobby of numismatics. The discovery and skyrocketing value of the 2010 no mint mark penny reignited interest in modern coin collecting. People who once thought valuable coins only existed in centuries-old issues began to realize that even recent coins could hold astonishing worth. Suddenly, more people started examining their change, searching for hidden gems at the bottom of jars and drawers. Coin clubs and online communities saw a surge in activity as the story of this penny spread across newspapers, documentaries, and social media platforms. This coin truly became a symbol of modern treasure hunting and brought new life into a hobby that spans generations. Collectors today view the 2010 no mint mark Lincoln penny as not just a rare coin but as a cultural phenomenon. It tells a story of chance, human error, design, evolution, and the timeless value of money. It has become an icon in numismatic history, standing alongside legendary coins like the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle or the 1913 Liberty Head nickel. So if you are watching this video right now, take a moment to imagine what it would feel like to discover a coin like this in your pocket change or in an old jar of pennies that has been sitting on a shelf for years. The thrill of uncovering a piece of history, the excitement of knowing that a simple 1-cent coin could be worth millions. That is what makes coin collecting so magical. It is not just about money, it is about discovery, preservation, and the stories these small objects carry across time. And finally, let us reflect on the future of this coin. The 2010 no mint mark Lincoln penny, valued at $82 million today, is likely to continue climbing in worth as the years pass. Its rarity is not going to change, its story is not going to fade, and its status as one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered will only grow stronger. Collectors of the future will look back at this moment and recognize just how special this penny truly is. So there you have it, the full incredible story of the 2010 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, from its humble origins to its historic design to its jaw-dropping value. This coin represents everything that makes numismatics such a fascinating pursuit. The next time you come across a penny, take a closer look, because you never know what history and fortune might be sitting right there in the palm of your hand. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin history and value, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this video with other collectors and enthusiasts. Remember, knowledge is the greatest treasure, and sometimes even the smallest coin can carry the biggest story.